to allow for the operation of a cigar bar. And the applicant is Sean Michael Conwell, doing business as Versos. This is an aerial vicinity map of the subject property. It's in the Woodland Hills Shopping Center. This is a picture of the subject property. These are the adjacent properties. The properties to the north is the top picture, and the properties to the south is the bottom picture. The property to the west is the top picture, and the properties to the east is the bottom picture. This is a current zoning map of the subject property and the adjacent area. The property to the north is zoned UTC, Urban Town Center Mixed Use District. The property to the south is Service Commercial Zone C2. The property to the west is Service Commercial Zone UTC. And the property to the east is Service Commercial Zone UTC. This is the current land use map of the subject property. It is a neighborhood shopping center. Future land use designation has this area designated for regional mixed use. These are the grounds for granting a use permit per section 1701.2-A of the zoning ordinance. When considering application for use permits, the City Council shall consider the extent to which the proposed use is compatible with the character development in the vicinity relative to density, bulk, and intensity of structures, parking, and other uses. The proposed use will not be detrimental to the continued use value or development of properties in the vicinity. Proposed use will not adversely affect vehicular or pedestrian traffic in the vicinity. The proposed use can be accommodated by existing or proposed public services and facilities, including but not limited to water, sanitary, sewer, streets, drainage, police, and fire protection in schools. Proposed use is in harmony with the comprehensive plan. The proposed use will not be hazardous, detrimental, or disturbing to present surrounding land uses due to noises, glare, smoke, dust, odor, fumes, water pollution, vibration, electrical interference, or other nuisances. Staff recommends the approval of a conditional use permit for the subject property to allow for the operation of a cigar bar within the C2 limited commercial district based upon the proposed use being compatible with the character development in the vicinity relative to density, bulk, and intensity of structures, parking, and other uses, and not being detrimental to the continued use value or development of properties in the vicinity. The recommended conditions for the use permit are that the use permit be granted on an annual basis, that the use permit be granted to Sean Michael Cornwell doing business as the owner-operator of the cigar bar, that subsequent owners of the cigar bar at this location must apply for and receive the new use permit, that the hours of operation for the bar be on Sundays shall begin at 1:30 p.m., and that compliance with adopted property maintenance, building, fire, law enforcement, and zoning codes be maintained at all times.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the planning board motion. It was to approve the conditional use permit, and the planning board vote was 10 in favor with 1 opposing. The applicant, Sean Conwell and Gabrielle Prada, spoke in support of the request. Robert Hutchinson, Clark Monroe, and Molly Walker spoke in opposition of the request. 3 letters of opposition to the requested action were received, and 27 letters of support were received. 2 documents were presented by the opposition.
All right, thank you. Is Mr. Cornwell or Mr. Prado present? Please. State your name for the record, briefly share with us what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah, my name is Sean Cornwell, and I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us to be here today to try to garner your support for this. I had some conversations with our councilperson, Mr. Kevin Parkinson, leading up to this, and this whole process has been a great learning experience, and it's showed me that I want to get more involved in city politics, what's going on in Jackson, so I really appreciate this process. I moved here 20 years ago. I'm an outsider. I'm from Mississippi originally. Jackson is my home. It's been my home for almost 20 years, and I've lived in Fondren most of that time. I met AJ when I first moved here, and we've been best friends ever since. He's going to be running day-to-day operations. We had a dream to open up this business a couple of years ago, and we've been working on it really hard. And we landed on a great space that we hope that we can garner your support for. I was going to read you guys our justification statement. I think you have a copy of. Do you have a copy of the map that looks like this? If you can. If you don't, I've got a couple extra that you guys can look at. This is part of the package, so this isn't a new document.
You have to hand it to the clerk, please.
Oh.
You can continue.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that as I read this. So I'm just going to read our justification statement you already have a copy of. Fondren has become Jackson's most prolific entertainment social district. Sprinkled throughout Fondren are several places to eat, socialize, drink coffee, tea, or alcoholic beverages, purchase premium liquor or craft beer, and listen to live music. Versos Lounge will fit in perfectly and offer a few more choices for Central Mississippi residents and outsiders visiting Fondren. Fondren Meats proprietor offered premium cigars, blues music, and the finest craft cocktail and wine pairings for both. Versos will fill that need. 663 Duling Avenue is the perfect location. The space is situated next to Fondren's Cellars, Fondren's upscale liquor store. This strategic location provides residents who enjoy premium cigars paired with their whiskey or other liquor of choice the luxury of picking out both in the same trip. For those that wish to come on in and stay a while, the Versos space is laid out to foster a relaxing atmosphere during the day and is designed to invite residents in for classy social nights filled with live music from Mississippi's finest blues musicians. During the day, the space will feel more like a coffee shop with opportunities for customers to come in and have an individual experience or meet up with friends or business associates. Or they can come in and bring a laptop in and get some work done. At night, the space will slowly morph into a high-end craft cocktail lounge with live music. The difference between Versos and any other bar, coffee shop, and music venue is the opportunity for customers to pick out a premium cigar and enjoy it in the space. Designed like no other space in Mississippi. Being respectful of the architectural and design history of Fondren, the interior space will be updated and transformed, incorporating art-forward, mid-century modern design, and we will have the late 60s and 70s in focus. Period piece artwork will be displayed along with modern art from local Mississippians. Customers will be drawn in by the soft, warm lighting and ambiance. They'll grab a craft cocktail or a cup of coffee, pick out a cigar and sink into a comfortable lounge chair or sofa. They'll have the choice of drifting into a sea of blues music or letting the music be the backdrop for a great social conversation with friends or someone new. Versos also has customers in mind that aren't really into cigars. Customers that want to be immersed in the Versos experience but aren't fond of smoky places. There will be a state-of-the-art ventilation system that will keep the air in the space as smoke-free as possible. Versos in the Spanish language means verses. Mississippi has a rich music and literature history. People still have stories to tell, whether it be through music, art, writing, or conversation. Versos will be a place where customers and artists can share their verses through conversation, song, and artistic expression. I did want to clarify something that I think was a little bit confusing at the planning board meeting, that under C2 zoning, we can actually open up right now as a retail tobacco store or cigar shop. So we are seeking a use permit to be a bar, to add the bar component to that and have live music, live entertainment. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that, because I know that on the docket it says cigar bar. We did have overwhelming support at the planning board, and also wanted to remind everybody that this is a use permit that has to be renewed once a year. So if we don't mind our P's and Q's, then we know that that can come up. And under Senate Bill 2567, which is what most recently allowed cigar shops, retail tobacco stores to be able to sell liquor for consumption on site. That's one of the things that we're falling under. The state requires that you be more than 100 feet from any church, which we are. over 100 feet from any churches or elementary schools nearby. And I think that's really about it on that part.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mullen.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Hutchinson Mixie,
Okay.
Clark Monroe, or Molly Walker present? Okay, come forward, please, if you're going to speak against this item. Good afternoon, state your name for the record, please.
Good afternoon, my name is Robert Hutchison. I live in the Woodland Hills section of Fondren, which is sort of the closest residential area to the Woodland Hills Shopping Center. I'm here on behalf of my neighbors, myself, and also the Woodland Hills Conservation Association, which is our neighborhood association. Basically, the Woodland Hills Shopping Center has been the anchor of this community and the Fondren area for many, many years. It's a shopping center right now that has a grocery store. It does have a liquor store. Brent's, the historic drugstore, is there, which is now a restaurant. And Brent's does serve alcohol, and they have a speakeasy style location in the back. We feel that this particular proposal, which is really for a bar that allows smoking, will be detrimental to that shopping center and continuing to maintain that shopping center in a mode that serves the community. And that's one thing that I wanted to point out was specifically the C2 zoning section. I can find my way to the papers here. Says that it's to provide development in commercial centers that address the daily needs of the surrounding residential community. That's us. A cigar bar is not what we need to address the daily needs of our residential community. If this was going to be located on North State Street in the strip there with the other more intensive commercial, we would probably not be objecting to this. We think that the Woodland Hills Shopping Center, again, is more of a family-oriented shopping center, and we object to this use sort of creeping towards the residential section on the other side of the campus. A couple of other points that I would like to make that are sort of more technical is what you've got here is the legislature passed a law that allows retail tobacco shops to now sell alcohol. So if you were going to buy a cigar and you wanted to have a drink, you can do that. The city of Jackson also in the smoking ordinance says if you're a retail tobacco shop and basically all of your revenue except for a little bit comes from something else, you could also serve somebody. So you could have a retail tobacco shop that allows somebody to have an occasional drink. That's permitted. But we're flipping that on its head. What he's asking you to do is to have a bar that allows smoking. Not a retail tobacco shop that allows you to have a cocktail, but a bar that allows you to smoke. And just by way of information, unfortunately, there are several cigar bars in the city of Jackson, and frankly, cigar bar is not defined in the zoning code. So even if you approve this, I urge you not to approve something that says you're going to approve a cigar bar, because that's not a term, you're approving a bar. But other than Spring Street, which is located on the interstate, none of the cigar bars in the city of Jackson are licensed or have a permit with ABC for on-premises tobacco use. So that's concerning to me that there is a record here that people are not doing what they're supposed to do to get the permits. I'm not saying that this group is not going to do that, but once they have a use permit, it's going to be difficult to sort of unring them. So I think that frankly what we're requesting to do is have a bar that allows smoking is not permitted under current city ordinances. We think the use will be detrimental to this neighborhood shopping center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Molly Walker. Thank you for hearing us today. I am also a resident of Fondren, and I am a member of the Fondren Renaissance Foundation board. The Fondren Renaissance Foundation wrote a letter to zoning expressing our opposition to this exception. For one main reason is that Fondren Renaissance a couple years ago started, we started a movement called Fondren Forward, where we hired an urban planner developer to come in and put together a plan for Fondren that would benefit not just Fondren, but the city of Jackson. And it has many components to it, including zoning. There are recommendations in this plan that suggest zoning changes. It does not suggest any zoning changes or exceptions within the Woodland Hills Shopping Center. This has historically been our grocery store. It is one of the few remaining successful grocery stores in the city of Jackson. It is a family-friendly retail shopping center. There is a restaurant there that does serve alcohol. That should not open the floodgates to any sort of nightclub lounge that wants to open within the shopping center. The Fondren Forward plan was endorsed by the city. It has been funded by local businesses and individual residents of Fondren. We raised in excess of $400,000 to put together this plan to get ahead of things that would not benefit Fondren as a whole. We're not saying that we don't have nightclubs in other places of Fondren, but this is a specific special area that's Fondren, that's family friendly, and it's an inappropriate use of the space at this location. What his map doesn't show you is the numerous churches in the circumference of this shopping center, as well as a preschool. There is not a smoking establishment in the shopping center. There is not a nightclub in the shopping center. There's a restaurant, an eyeglasses shop, a grocery store, a frozen yogurt shop. These are all appropriate for C2 zoning, and there is no reason to grant an exception for this establishment when it could be opened in any number of other locations in Fondren where the zoning permits it. I also wanted to address the numbers of letters in support as well as opposition, because I don't think that they adequately reflect the feelings of the community in Fondren regarding an opening of a lounge at this location. I wrote the letter on behalf of the Woodland Hills Conservation Association, of which I'm also a member of the board. We are an association of approximately 60 households. This is my first time. I've served on the board of that organization for many years. This is the first time that while I've served on the board, that we've opposed a zoning change. So I didn't appreciate that there would be counting of pros or against. Otherwise, I would have had everyone in the neighborhood sign my letter. I think likewise, there's many members of the Fondren Renaissance Foundation who could have signed a petition in opposition to this zoning change. I think that sums it up. Mr. Hutchinson did a great idea. Did a great job. So thank you very much for your time and listening.
Thank you. Molly Walker. You're Molly Walker.
I'm Mary Walker, yes.
Okay. Clark Monroe. All right. Let's go ahead and get that on the floor.
Order granting Sean M. Cornwell doing business as Verso a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a cigar bar within a C2 limited commercial district for the property located at 663 Duling Avenue, parcel 47-27, case number 4310.
So moved.
Second. As we move to properly second, colleagues, any questions or comments about this case? Mr. Stokes.
Thank you. Mr. President, smoking is something I hate. Killed too many loved ones in my family. The reason I made the motion is because the owner supports this. The gentleman who owned this whole shopping center. So I keep hearing it's a friendly shopping center, it's this and that. But if the owner of the shopping center is over, then how can we be against it? He owns it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments? Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. President. During the presentation, there was a point there on one of the slides that said open on Sunday at 1:30 p.m., I think it was. What are the regulations, either state or city, on when the cigar bars have to close, or are they allowed additional open as long as they want to? As far as closing times? I just don't know. I assume it's covered by state law. Nobody else answered that?
As far as we know, with our research, there is nothing that stipulates when a cigar shop has to open or close. I think on Sundays you can't start serving alcohol until 12 p.m. Is that correct? I think so.
There was something on one of the slides that said 1:30 on Sunday.
Well, that was one of the stipulations that we negotiated with the zoning department, is that we would, in respect for the local churches in the area, that we would not open until 1:30. We were probably not even going to plan on opening until 2 p.m. on Sundays anyway. So
there's no limitations on staying?
not that we're
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson.
Thank you very much. There's been a lot of deliberation on this item. I have spent endless hours talking with both the developers as well as concerned community members on this. And first of all, I want to thank the folks on both sides who really came to try to listen or to try to get the win-win, as Mr. Stokes said earlier. It's a very, very tough case. I think in this moment, I am not going to be able to support this. And the only reason is because that it's in the same shopping center as a grocery store. Our grocery stores throughout the city are facing an enormously difficult time. We lost a grocery store in Belhaven, and that had a tremendous effect. Just this weekend, we found out that there was a grocery store to be closed in South Jackson, and that is having a very difficult effect there. And we are hearing from community members that if there is an establishment there that allows drinking and smoking and live music in the same complex, they're simply not going to go to that complex. I wish that wasn't the case. I simply wish that wasn't true. I wish people would still go to that store regardless of that fact. But there's a subset of folks who will not go to that grocery store if there's a place in there that allows for drinking and smoking and live music late at night. And so as a result of that, and just given how fragile the grocery store landscape is in the city, I very reluctantly will not be able to support this particular measure at this time. But if you all wanted to open an establishment that was a cigar retail shop within the current zoning use, I would personally, be very supportive of that. If there was a space even around that place that just wasn't in the same complex as the grocery store, I would personally be very supportive of that. But because it's in the same complex, after much deliberation, I very reluctantly will not be able to support this at this time. But I greatly appreciate the work that you've done and certainly wish you tremendous success no matter how this shakes out.
Can I respond to that real quick? Okay.
All right, colleagues, are there any more questions or comments about this case? All right, all in favor of the motion, which is to approve this special use, right? Yeah. Special use. All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? All right, so it fails. Is there another motion? Okay. Clerk?
Order denying Sean M. Cornwell doing business as Verso a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a cigar bar within a C2 limited commercial district for the property located at 663 Duling Avenue, parcel 47-27, case number 4310.
Okay, so this is the motion to deny.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so move to properly second. Any questions or comments about the denial of this item? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? You got it? Okay. All right, what we got next?